All right. All right, you need more time? All right. We are not supposed to have cell phones out, and we are supposed to be writing in our calendar. I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute to finish the calendar. You do not have a CBA today. Blake. Oh. I was getting you and him confused. We'll try not to. Okay. If you would like, I know I just told you to put your cell phones away. If you would like, you can take a picture of the schedule. I believe this is a schedule for tomorrow. This is a special schedule, though. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same schedule as for today's. Because it was. Okay. Are we ready to move on then? All right. Our TEAC for today is going to be determine the coordinates of a point that given a fractional distance less than one from one end of a line segment to the other in 1- and 2-dimensional systems, including midpoint. Your LO for today is I will be able to apply the fractional distance formula to identify the coordinates of a point a fraction of a distance away from one of the endpoints of a line segment. This TEAC is hard to say. All right, this is your homework 1-5. Yeah, take it out. Do it along with us. All right, pass it to a neighbor. Okay. Guys, I know it's the end of the day. Typically, you're better than this. Okay. A is located at -3. B is located at 21. Find the coordinates of the following points. 1/4 of the distance from A to B. So our starting point is A. Our ending point is B. Okay, we're going to practice something now. I'm going to ask you to, if I ever ask you to raise your hand if you know the answer, that means do not blurt out the answer. Okay? So, which one's going to be your x1? Which one's going to be your x2? Raise your hand if you think you know the answer. Okay, one person, that's it. Which one of these 2 points do you think is going to be your x1? Which one of these 2 points do you think is going to be your x2? You got demoted. Okay. Does anyone want to share the answer? Daniel, what do you think the answer is? Okay, x1 is, which one of these two is x1? -3 is x1. This one has to be x2. You start here, you go there. Thanks, Danny. All right. Now we plug into our formula. Our formula is x1 plus k times x2 minus x1. Our k value, who thinks they know what their k value is? Raise your hand if you think you know what the k value is. All right, Mr. Redshirt, I don't remember your name, I'm sorry. 1/4? Perfect. I thought you were saying your name. Because the 1/4 has to sound like 1, like 1/4 or something like that. I don't know. Jonathan, okay, perfect. So we know our k is 1/4. So we're going to plug this in. We get 1/4 from here. So we're going to plug this in. x1 is going to be -3 times k, which is at 1/4, times x2, which is at 21, minus -3. Okay, if they have this right here, you can give them full credit. We're still going to solve it out, though. All right, we have 21 minus -3. What's 21 minus -3? 21 minus -3. 24. It's like adding them together, right? So we're going to have -3 plus 1/4 of 24. Multiply these two parts together. We're going to have 1/4 times 24 over 1. 1 times 24 is 24. 4 times 1 is 4. 24 divided by 4 is going to be what? 6. 6. So we have -3 plus 6. 6. -3 plus 6 is going to be what? 3. Okay, I know you can get it by counting, so if they got 3 by counting, you can give them credit. Finally, the actual answer, what I want you to actually have written down somewhere, is going to be the point. It doesn't tell us a specific point name, so someone give me a letter to use. It doesn't really matter what letter it is. C. So point C would be at 3. So we know point C is like here. Well, yes and no. If you put it like this, give yourself +4 bonus points, because this is the proper way to report it. And if you didn't do that and you got one of these two, you get full credit. Okay, so it's still right, yeah. All right, next question. Who knows? Raise your hand if you know the difference. There's only one difference between this question, and this question. What's the one difference? Yeah. The fraction, and that changes which variable. It only changes the k. We're still going from a to b. The only thing is 1/3 of the distance now. So the formula would be -3 plus 1/3 times 21 minus -3. If they have this, they get full credit. Let's solve it. We already know this is 24. We just did that. So we're going to have 1/3 times 24 over 1. 24 over 3 is equal to, what's 24 divided by 3? 8. We have -3 plus 8 is 5. I guess we're going to use C again. So C is at 5. That answers +4. This answers full credit. This is what you need to get full credit as well. Either one of those. Are we ready to move on to the next one? Yeah, if you have this answer here, you can add +4 points. It doesn't have to be C necessarily. All right, this is probably the hardest problem. There's two differences between this problem and problem number B, or letter B, I should say. Who knows what the two differences are? Raise your hand. 3 people? Any more? 4, 5? How many? Any more? 6? You just raising your hand. If you know the difference between this problem and problem letter B is, there's two huge differences. All right, I'm going to call on him because I haven't called on him yet. Yeah, okay, she's right. But you're supposed to be raising your hand. Was that whipping it? Okay. Here's the big difference. We have B to A. Also, we have a different K value. B to A is completely different than A to B. For example, we have A here, we have B here. A to B would be this direction. B to A would be this direction. Let me give you an example. This side of the carpet is A. This side of the carpet is B. If I took one step from B to A, I land about here, right? Let's do the same thing, but from A to B. Am I in a different place? See why it's a big difference between those two? Okay? You have to look at which direction it's going. The formula for this was x1 plus k times x2 minus x1. Plug these bad bears in. Uh-oh. Which ones are x1? Which ones are x2? Where were we starting? Are we starting at A or are we starting at B? So our x1 has to be 21. This is our x2. Now we can start plugging it in. 21 plus 3/5 of -3 minus 21. Is that what you said? I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Okay. This is 21 plus 3 over 5 is equal to -24. So, this is, oh, by the way, full credit right here. Full credit right there. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that does not count. Okay. This one's tricky. We have to do 3/5 times -24 over 1. Can you reduce this part here? You can. That's pretty cool if you can. No. What about this part here? No. So we're going to have to actually multiply these. 3 times -24 is what? -72. Over 5 times 1 is 5. 21 plus -72 over 5. The problem is you can't add these together unless they have the same what? Starts with a D. Ooh, you guys are good. Denominator. Okay, so when you have 21 have the same denominator as this. So this has to have a 5 on the bottom. 21 is the same as 21 over 1, right? We're going to get the 5 on the bottom, we have to multiply 1 by 5. We can't just multiply the bottom by 5, we have to also multiply the top by 5. 21 times 5 is 105. 1 times 5 is 5. 105 over 5 minus 72 over 5 happens to be equal to 33 over 5, which is about 6.5. Okay. So, in order to get your plus 4 points, it needed to have said, whatever letter, we're going to say C is at 33 over 5. Are you ready to move on? Find the point 1/4 the distance from -2, 0, 2, 5, 8. First step. Raise your hand if you think you know what the first step is. All right, what do you think the first step is? Exactly. What Which one's x1, x2, which one's x1? And what's this one? Good job. Excellent job. All right, that's I actually think that's the hardest step. All right, because all you have to do now is plug it in. All right, what's our K value? Raise your hand if you think you know what your K value is. I'm waiting for new people. You're new. What's our K value? Good job, 1/4. All right, I'm going to plug these into us because we need to hurry up a little bit. X1 was -2, K is 1/4, X2 is 5, X1 is -2. We have Y1, 0, 8, 1/4, and 0. Okay, full credit is right here. To get bonus points, we have to find the actual point, right? 5 minus -2 is going to be the same as 5 plus 2, which is 7, times 1/4 plus -2. 1/4 over 7 over 1. Can these simplify here? Can these simplify here? So we have 7 over 4. Right? 1 times 7 is 7. 4 times 1 is 4. So we have 7 over 4, sorry. -2 plus 7 over 4. Do those have the same denominator? So you shed 1 2 because you have to do extra work, right? Okay. We need this to have a 4 on the bottom, right? So we're going to have -2 over 1. If we want this to have a 2 on the bottom, what do we need to multiply this by? Right? And if you multiply the bottom by 2, you have to multiply that top by 2. -4 over 2. Okay. Oh. I made a mistake. We needed to multiply by 4. How come no one said nothing? Yeah, how come no one said nothing? Well, then you guys all failed because no one said anything. Okay, you're good. Oopsies. This needs to be a 4 on the bottom, so we need to multiply both sides by 4. What's -2 times 4? -8 over 4. So we have -8 over 4 plus 7 over 4. That is 1/4. That's half the answer. Luckily, this one's much easier. Do I care about those zeros at all? So I'm just going to go straight down to this. What's 1/4 times 8? Yep. 8/4. It is 8/4. It is, okay. 1 times 8 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. So that 8 divided by 4 is 2. So we know the answer to this one is 2. So to get the full credit for this, the answer would be, we don't have a point, so I'm going to make one up. C is at -1/4, which is all the same as -2/5, and 2. Ready to move on to the next one? All right. So this will be plus 4 points. All right, last one. This one is the second hardest one. First big difference you guys should know is who thinks they know what the first big difference is? Raise your hand if you think you know what it is. Just 2 people? No one else? 3 people? How is this different than the other ones? I'm not going to call it either of you 3. I'm waiting for new people. You can put your hands down. Do I need to volunteer someone? You know who looks really happy to be here? The person behind Danny. Danny, person behind Danny. I know. How is this one different than all the other ones? Well, if you look here, we're going from A to B, right? We're going from A to B on this one. This one, we're going from what? B to A. That switches around your x1, y1s, x2, y2s. So, the B is the one that's going to be your x1s, y1s, and your A is going to be the ones that will be your x2, y2s. So let's go over here. Which one of these four numbers do you think is going to be x1? I'm asking her. Which one of these four numbers do you think is going to be your x1? 9? 19? So we just said B was x1. Is that B? Which one's going to be our y1? It's -5. What's going to be our x2? Why you? Because you look really excited to be here. 19. And this is y2. All right, good job. Which one's our k? Which one's our k? Which one's our fraction? Perfect. Great job. What's your name? Good job, Valeria. This is our k. X1 is going to be, you want to know the real reason why I chose you? Because you weren't paying attention. She's just a very smart woman, and that's how she was able to figure it out. All right. X3, X1 goes in here. K is at 7/8. X2 is at is at 19. And X1 is at 3. 19 minus 3 is 16. 7/8 and 3, right? Okay. Multiply these out. We have 7/8 times 16/1. We're going to cross, look at these. Can those be divided by each other? 7 times 16 divided by 8 is 2. 8 divided by 8 is 1 and 1. 7 times 2 is 14. Isn't that a lot easier? 3 plus 14 is, what's 3 plus 14? 17. That's one of Fetty's favorite numbers. Fetty. Thanks. That's what I was looking for. I'd rate it 6 out of 10. All right, this one. Y1 is -5. K is 7/8. Y2 is -1. And Y1 is -5. Okay, so to get full credit, or to get credit, that's what you needed. Let's actually solve this. Let's solve this bad bear out. -1 minus -5 is going to be the same as 4 times 7/8 minus -5. 7/8 times 4/1. Let's look at this right here. Are those both divisible by 4? So let's reduce that. 4 divided by 4 is 8 divided by 4 is 1 times 7 is 2 times 1 is. So we know this simplifies down to 7/2. -5 plus 7/2. We have to cry one tear because it does not have the right denominator, so we have to fix that. So we need this to have a 2 on the bottom. So we have -5/1 times 2 on the bottom. If we do 2 on the bottom, we have to do 2 on the top. -10/2 plus 7/2, -3/2. This has a specific point that it wants you to find, so we have to label it with an actual C now for an actual reason. C is at 17 and negative 3 over 2. Can't steal my same joke that I just said. And you were the one who was knocking that joke too. Joke stealer. Alright. This is for plus 4 points. This is for full credit. Here's the grading policy. Alright. Look at the yellow one here. You don't have to write this one in the ISNs. You can write it right down here. I'm doing these problems. You're gonna do, your homework was the odds. We're gonna do the evens in class. See what I did there? Well, we're about to do them again. You gotta take a pass. No, not the back. Back's not too bad. I can help you on the back. Is it because you just saw a picture and lots of words and didn't try? I'll help you after class. Okay. Okay. The midpoint formula, because we're trying to find the midpoint, is this. x1 plus x2 divided by 2. There's also a y component, but since it's a number line, do I care about that y component? No. It would actually just be 0 plus 0 divided by 2, which is 0. Okay. C is here. D is here. Which ones are x1? Which ones are y1? Sorry, which ones are x1? Which ones are x2? C or D? Which one? Okay. Challenge question for you. Let's see who's smart. Who thinks this makes a difference? Who thinks order matters for this problem? Raise your hand if you think order matters for this problem. Who, raise your hand if you don't think order matters? I raised my hand for don't worry order matters. Let's look at this for a second. Plus. Does it matter which order I plus anything in? So do you think order actually matters for this one? Nope. If it was minus, then it would totally matter. But since it's plus, it doesn't matter. Okay? That's for fractional distance formula. For fractional distance, okay, hold up. Fractional distance formula looks like this. What did I just say when order matters? When there's a subtraction. Is there a subtraction in there? So that's why I told you order matters. Is there subtraction in this one? No, so order doesn't matter. Because it doesn't matter which way you add things together. That's definitely not the formula. Okay. Okay. So, x1 we said is negative 2 plus x2, which is 6. Divide that by 2. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the answer would be 2. The midpoint is at 2. Let's graph this really quick. Does that look like it's in the middle? So I'm going to write M for midpoint is at 2. If you say so. All right. I'm going to give you guys until I finish attendance to do this problem. Then I have someone come to the board and do it. All right, so he's I have to speak. So he's marking G. I'm just going to say what you're doing. He marked E. So which one's your X1? And which one's your x2? Now plug it into your formula, see what you get. So he's writing down the formula. Now plug it in. (30/2). 3 plus 10. Yeah. You have to press the mark. Yeah. The pen. Sorry. That one. Yeah. Stop. Stop. Perfect. Now write it properly. So you're going to write m, parentheses. We did solve it. That is the real answer. You don't need to divide. Good job. If you would have divided it out, it would have been 6.5.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. It's also right, yeah. Okay, moving on. This one here. You could have put it on the one lower. This one that's lower, you could have put it on the one that's lower. It's okay now, you're fine. All right. So we need first we have to first, this has an x and a y component to it. So we're going to say x1, y1, x2, y2. We're going to plug these in. We have two formulas, x1 plus x2 divided by 2, y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So x1 is -4 plus 4 divided by 2. -4, well, I'm doing this one now. y2 is -4 plus -4 divided by 2. -4 plus 4 is 0, like you guys were saying, divided by 2, which is still 0. No. -4 plus -4 is -8, like you were saying. I know 1 through 10. Oh, I also know 11. Doce? What? All right, stop. -8 divided by 2 is what? -4. So we have our two coordinates, our two answers, either our coordinate pair, 0 and -4. So the proper answer would be the midpoint is at 0, -4. You can put any letter you want. You just have to say a point. Okay. Ready to move on? This next one is the hardest one. I would start for sure. I think this is going to be the most missed question on the test. All right, we'll see. Okay, so we have a line segment AB. We have a midpoint M. We know A is at 4, 2. And we know M is at -2, 10. That's wrong. Let's talk about these. Okay. So, we are trying to find the measurement of B. Sorry, the location of B, not the measurement of B. The location of B. Do we know what B is? No. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call B, I'm going to give it two random variables. What random variables do we want to use? P and C? Okay, we're using P and C. Okay, the biggest mistake people will say, oh, easy, midpoint formula, x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. Like, and you guys say, easy peasy, x1, x2, x1, x2, y1, y2. The problem about doing that is that gives you this coordinate right here. Is that what we're looking for? No, we need to use these two. So this has to be our x1, this has to be our y1, this has to be our x2, this has to be our y2. Okay? Now we can plug into the formula. x1 is 4 plus our unknown variable p divided by 2 is equal to, what is the x component of our midpoint? X component of our midpoint is -2. Now you need to solve for p. Multiply. We have this 2 on the bottom. Do we like this 2 being on the bottom? Absolutely not. So we're going to multiply both sides by 2. Can't just multiply this one by 2. You have to do this one and this side. Cancels out. We get 4 plus p is equal to, what's -2 times 2? -4. We're trying to get this p by itself. -4, -4. We get p is equal to -8. So we figure out our x component of b. It is -8. Now let's figure out our y component of b. We have y1, y1, which is 2, good job, plus c, divide that by 2, is equal to the y component of our midpoint, which is 10. Same process. Multiply this by 2, multiply this by 2, those cancel out. 2 plus c is equal to 20. We're trying to solve for c, so we have plus 2 here, so we need to do -2, -2. We get c is equal to 18. All right, your test is on Thursday. You don't understand this part? The whole problem? You take your midpoint formula. What's x, what's y1? So I plug that in. What's our y2? If you say our y2 is 10, then you're finding this point. It's our unknown. It's our c value. So that's why we plugged in c in here. Then we just solve for c. Okay? Well, 10 is part of the midpoint, so it goes there. I don't know if that sounds like that doesn't help you at all. It's okay. First off, let's figure out what you're even trying to figure out. You have this point here, and we know this is our midpoint. Okay. Where does this is A, this is your midpoint. Where does B have to go for this to be the midpoint? But where specifically? You should be able to figure it out. Count the spaces between these two. So it'll have to be at 4, right? So that's what we're trying to solve for here. What you were trying to do is you're trying to say these are our two endpoints, and you would find 1. What you really need to do is say these are your two endpoints, and the answer is 2. So if you wanted to solve this one out, we know our midpoint is at 2. We know our A is at 0. We know the formula is x1 plus x2 divided by 2 is equal to the midpoint, right? The midpoint was at what? 2 at this example. Our x1 was at 0 plus our x2. We don't know what our x2 is. So we're dividing that by 2. Multiply both sides by 2, so we get that cancels out, and we get 0 plus x2 is equal to 2 times 2 is 4, and that's what we got here before. Okay? That's all you're doing. Instead of plugging them both into here, you plug one in here and then one in here, and you solve that one. Where did I get b from? P? I just made up that variable. It could have been, yeah, it could have been any letter. You could have kept it as x2 if you wanted to. Mm-hmm.